these gloves is significantly tighter. For whatever reason, I am unsure, but also with my nails in it makes it look like a uncircumcised penis on my thumb.
No way. Let me see.
Look at that. It has a cap on.
I've never seen an uncircumcised penis that shape in my life.
Bless your heart.
Why does yours look like a unicorn horn?
This is going to get flagged.
Look at this. This is just because this thumb is too close. Okay. Audio only listeners, welcome to Potty Mouse. YouTube listeners, welcome to Potty Mouse. I'm Stine.
I'm Crispy.
And my mom sent us a care package, and this one included gloves. But not just any gloves.
Skeleton gloves.
Skeleton. It's a skeleton glove.
Should I put on my Halloween socks?
Yeah.
What a silly me. What a silly me.
A couple of years ago, my mom sent me a care package for Halloween with these black cat slippies. So I'm sporting these today, and the gloves. So we've got toes and fingers already covered with Halloween garb. Mom, if you're watching this, I know she won't be. Send me a scarf. Next year, send me a Halloween hat. My mom sent us a card that says, you should do a podcast of you drinking and laughing. And that's what we do.
And that's exactly what we do here. Welcome to Potty Mouths. 1 week away from Halloween. Ooh. We're getting spooky today.
I'm loving these.
Yeah. I was going to show off my new nails, but I guess I'll do it at the end of the episode.
No, we'll do it right now. Do it right now. Ready?
You
Whoa.
know? Whoa.
Whoa, very cool. Explain in great detail for the audio-only listeners what we're looking at here.
So what we have on my nails for the audio-only listeners, pink, blues, yellows, like imagine really colorful, but also like super chic and dainty.
I see glitter.
Yeah, a lot of glitter.
And a butterfly, the butterfly moment too on the thumb.
Yeah, it's so me. It's just so me. And yeah, I love my nail tech. What can I say? We're doing a little something scary, spooky today.
Oh yeah.
Did you want to begin though? You had
you
had something to tell the audience.
I had some announcements. Flop! Surprise! You've been slapped by a huge cock monster. Actually, I don't want to do that one. I don't want to do that.
Alrighty.
Okay, new announcement.
Absolutely.
It's Cocktober. You know what that means. Dick Sucking Awareness Month. Send this to 12 of your closest hoes that love that dick. Thought-o-ween is upon us. If you get this message, you are a queen of the thoughts. Forward this to 7 of the thoughtiest thoughts that you know will get some soon. Okay. If you get 5 back, you're a thought-o-ween treat. If you get 10 back, you're a slutty witch bitch. But if you get 15 back, you're the spookiest thought on the block. If you don't send this to 15 other thoughts, you will get no dick this Cocktober.
Yeah. So be aware. I just had to let you guys know, okay?
Now that we have that gotten over with.
Okay. Yeah.
Tell us.
Haha, yeah.
Yeah. Tell us what we're going to do today. Tell everybody what we're going to chat. Tell the chat what we're going to do.
I've been thinking about this a lot lately. I don't know why creepypastas have been coming up in my verbiage like recently. I wanted to take a look back at my favorite creepypasta.
Okay.
Which was the Rugrats theory.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, have you?
That was fucked up.
Yeah.
Can you explain to the class, for those who aren't familiar, what a creepypasta is? If this is their first time and this is their virginity being taken?
Yeah. Essentially, a creepypasta is a scary story. But a lot of them have been based off of, like, cartoons or just things that have happened in history or yada, yada, yada. So there's a website called Creepypasta, and on that website are a bunch of these spooky stories.
You said you had 2 in mind?
Yes.
Okay.
So my first one that I'm going to bring up was always my favorite as a youngin'. You're the first person that I've said the Rugrats theory to, and they've actually been like, oh my God, I know what that is.
I hope I know.
Nobody ever knows this one. Okay.
Spill.
So this
Tell us a spooky story.
It says estimated reading time 4 minutes. I can do it in 2.
Okay.
Okay. So
Okay.
This is the Rugrats theory. The Rugrats were a figment of Angelica's demonic and unimaginable imagination. Chucky died in 1986 along with his mother. That's why Chaz is a nervous wreck all the time.
Aw.
Tommy was, I haven't read this since 2008, probably.
2008?
Yeah.
No way.
This was from, oh no, this
Did
was
you even
2011.
have a computer back
I haven't
then?
read this since 2012. That's probably the year that I got really into like conspiracy theories because of the 2012 of it all. The end of the world even.
Oh, yes. Gotcha. Okay. Spill.
Tommy was born in 1988, Tommy was born in 1988, but he was a stillborn. That's why Stu is constantly in the basement making toys for the son who never had a chance to live.
Yes.
There we go. I did not know what a stillborn meant
Awesome.
when I was reading this at the age of 12, and I was like, oh no, the DeVilles had an abortion in 1990. Angelica couldn't figure whether it was going to be a boy or a girl, thus creating the twins.
The twins,
of course.
right.
As for All Grown Up, the teenage Angelica became addicted to various narcotics, which further aggravated her schizophrenia, bringing her back to the childhood and thus the creations she obsessed over. Because of the time lapse between the present and the last time she interacted with her creations, she made them older, of course. So this was the spin-off of All Grown Up.
Right.
Now they're in high school.
Right.
Angelica was constantly taking hits of acid, so she would never have to live without her creations, who were her only company. In a judgmental world, Angelica's mom actually died of heroin overdose in 1982, just after Angelica was born. And Drew, in his depression, married a gold-digging whore that Angelica idolized because she fooled herself into thinking it was her real mom, but always had a concept of her mom, Cynthia, and took a Barbie doll. And took a Barbie doll and made it after her mom's image, wearing an unwashed orange dress and having jacked up hair, which is why she was so attached to it. Later in life, she followed in her mom's footsteps with drugs and everything, dying of an overdose at the age of 13 when All Grown Up was canceled.
13? I thought they were in high school.
I do not know. All Grown Up did fall off for me.
Wait, what about Dill?
Well, so here we are.
And Susie.
So here we are.
Okay.
The only Rugrat not to be fictional, however, was unborn Tommy's brother, Dill. Good clocking. Angelica didn't know the difference between Dill and her creations, although Dill did not follow her commands. After endless crying and refusal to disappear like the others did when Angelica was angry with them, she hit him. Due to this, he sustained a brain hemorrhage, which resulted in a deformation, if you will. As he grew up, his damage only became more evident, and by the time he was 9 and All Grown Up, he lived as an outcast, being ridiculed for his weirdness and retardation.
Can we pull up a picture of what Dill looked like in All Grown Up, please?
Yes, I can. I remember this outfit so very clearly.
Oh my God. He's supposed to be 9?
Yeah, I guess so. This feels
10.
not true. Yeah, this feels 10 actually. What the fuck is that? I need one.
Oh, he is different.
Yeah.
I love that they made him a little different.
Yeah. The immense guilt over this is what led Angelica to her drug use, and this is what led Angelica to uncreate the Rugrats briefly until her experience with hallucinogens. On a trip to Paris to find love, Chaz married a woman named Kira. He was actually going to marry a different woman named Coco, but she just wanted him for his money. Kira had a daughter named Kimmy that was torn from her because she was a cocaine addict. Angelica imagined her from Kira's stories. He lost his mind after the death of his wife and was in denial that she was ever a prostitute. Upon return to America, Chaz and Kira married and she got her green card. It was actually a really happy and romantic story. Kira continually struggled with addiction, but was relatively happy with her life in Chaz.
I'm happy for that.
Relatively.
Yeah. In relation to.
Yeah.
Despite.
Susie, yeah, despite even. Susie was actually Angelica's only friend, who entertained the thought of Angelica's creations for her sake. Angelica spent the last days of her life in the back of the school cafeteria, imagining her friends around her and playing with the lives of her creations.
Let's unpack this.
Yeah. At the time, and still, Rugrats really was not that special to me.
Really?
Don't know why I was addicted.
We loved Rugrats growing up.
Addicted to these stories.
This one in particular.
About this. I don't know what it was, but I think it was just like the, yo guys, like going to school and being like, yo guys, you're never gonna believe this story I heard. That show that you guys love?
Yeah. Childhood ruined.
Yeah. Hashtag childhood ruined. That was so true.
I think that's what it was about it. Where it's like, yo, check this out. But it was us just like talking to a freshman or something.
Yeah.
Being like, yo, let me drop some knowledge on you. Guess what? Let me ruin your day. And then being the person to blow their mind and be like, I never smoked a cigarette before, but I'm later, kid. Life's rough.
Yeah. Yeah.
You either bark like a dog or woof. Life's woof. You better rough like a bark or woof away home. Arr. Gonna throw me a bone? Life's a shit sandwich. Either take a bite or starve on that woof bark.
Oh, it seems we have easy access.
No,
here.
did it rip?
Yeah. Oh, and on both.
No.
Okay.
Look. This is where my finger is. What do you make of all that? How does that make you feel?
I think I was like,
How does that make you feel?
there's something about like the like adding the darkness to it, you know? Adding the darkness to such a light story.
Cartoon show.
Yeah. That I was like, I love this. I'm so different. And I feel like this definitely was like, I have to stop saying like.
Okay.
I feel as though this had a impact on who I became in high school. It was the starting line to a declining outlook on life.
Oh.
You know, everything's cursed.
Yeah.
It's all bad.
Childhood ruin.
We're all bad.
Yeah.
Mad. We're all mad.
Were you one of those people to put in their Twitter bio, we're all mad here, or something like that?
No, but I did end up turning my Twitter into a O2L fan account. If you
O2L?
Yeah. Kean Lawley, JC Kalen, Connor Franta, Trevor Moran, Ricky Dillon.
These people are not familiar to me.
Oh my God. I could talk about our second life forever.
O2L.
O2L. Yeah.
I started a Twitter to become to keep up with the infamous Iconic Boys.
I actually don't know the Iconic Boys. We all had our fandoms, didn't we?
The reason I joined Twitter was to be like, I have to follow them all on Twitter. They're from America's Best Dance Crew season 6 or 7, a show that doesn't exist anymore, and they were from Englishtown, New Jersey. And they were the youngest at that time, the youngest dance crew to be on that show, and they were just from New Jersey.
Yeah.
So my friends and I in 8th grade, that was like my first like Jonas Brothers was kind of like my first boy band fandom thing.
Yeah.
These were like, I wrote about them in my diary. I printed out posters of them. Like we had not t-shirts of them, but we all like chose our favorite. And mine was Nick. And I've shown you pictures of Nick in my diary from the episode where we read stories from my diary.
I recall.
We went to a Long Island club right after Camp Northvale one day. Brooke's mom drove us to Long Island where we stayed outside of the club from like 3 p.m. until it opened at like 8 and got to the very front to like see them perform on stage.
I had a very similar experience with O2L. They were also like my first,
Were they YouTube?
They were
they just a YouTube
just
channel?
YouTubers.
Okay.
And it was like they each had their own channel, but then they decided to make this thing called Our Second Life, and and it's like a second YouTube channel, and they each have a day. There were 6 episodes a week.
That's crazy.
Yeah. So
Didn't they have jobs?
that was their job.
Come on. Didn't they have school?
No, Key and Lolly and JC Caitlin would skip school all the time.
Didn't they have church?
They are not God's children. And there was themed weeks and stuff. So like it was so cool. It was so fun. Oh my God, what a time in our lives. And they went on a tour and they would perform.
Performing in what way?
They would
Just
go
like
up
a
there
Q&A?
and sure.
How old were they?
They were like 14 through 18. 14 through 21, actually. I think Ricky Dillon was like the oldest. Yeah.
What was he doing hanging out with 14-year-olds?
I don't know, man. Well, only one of them was 14, and that was Trevor Moran, who is now Trevi. If you know of Trevi, Tana Mojo's bestie. This made me go back on Twitter because when I first went on Twitter, it was probably when I was like 8 or 9 or 10 or something. I joined social media, but it was at the time when like chain texts and posts were a thing. So it was like, if you see this and you don't repost it, this person is going to come to your house and kill you. Yeah. And so I reposted one of them, and this happened on an Instagram account as well. I reposted them and deleted the accounts, or just like deleted the apps because I was so scared. It was so, oh my God, it was terrifying because it would be like a picture of someone's face like,
yeah, it would be like the girl from like The Exorcist.
Yeah. Oh my God, it was horrifying.
I used to get that as a text on my phone. I remember Ali Mandillo sent it to me on my freaking pink flip phone. I opened it and screamed in the middle of my kitchen because it also came with a screaming sound. Yeah. Mm-hmm. On a flip phone, dude. Like you have to, this was like what, 2009? Yeah. That was my first chain text. Yeah. Getting that on my phone before I even had social media, screaming and then being like, I have to forward this to someone because I don't want her on the edge of my bed. Yeah. I hated getting those. Now I send them all the time.
Yeah. The same thing happened. It was like a week into me having my first ever phone hand-me-down from my brother's flip phone. Yeah. And I got a chain text and I sent it out to 20 people.
I didn't even know 20 people.
I had all of these random contacts of people that did not know I had their number. Popular people. I was not popular. And I don't know how I got them. Do not recall. But I sent it out and it ended up creating a group text.
Oh,
so then there's all of these random phone numbers in a group. My mother was a part of it. And and everyone's like, I put my phone away, I come back and there's like hundreds of texts and everyone's like fighting with each other like, who are you? Oh my God, it was so traumatizing. I get like a call from my mom and she's like, this kid is saying that I'm like bullying him. It's like 9, I know. The good old days. Speaking of scary, it was so interesting like Googling this and trying to find ones that I used to read and stan. Because I know there's one more that I cannot remember what it was, but I was obsessed with it. Mm-hmm. I found out through deep diving into the creepypasta of it all that Slender Man was originally creepypasta. Like Slender Man came from creepypasta.
Oh!
I had no clue.
Is that true?
Yeah. And it says it's possibly the most famous creepypasta character of all time.
No way. Mm-hmm. I thought Slender Man was based on a real true crime story, like a real true crime story. But I think you could.
Slender Man in his original form was created by Eric Knudsen under the alias Victor Surge.
You know what? I think Slender Man is a creepypasta, you're correct, and I think it became a true crime story because a girl convinced another girl to make decisions based off of the fear of Slender Man and like got her hurt or killed. In a way. So in a way it is true crime, but because they believed it.
Slender Man became such a big thing that it had a domino effect in that way.
Exactly.
Where so much happened because of it.
Yeah.
My friends and I used to gather at the park next door to my house in middle school, and we would play Slender Man at nighttime, like a manhunt sort of thing.
Yeah,
but we'd write
manhunt.
Yeah, we'd write 7 notes, and then Slender Man would hide them, and we would do like 1 or 2 Slender Mans, and if Slender Man touched you or caught you, you are dead, whatever, but you have to find all 7 notes. And
What notes?
they were just, that was like the point of the game, Slender Man, the game, the online game.
Oh,
you
I
have
didn't
to
even know
collect
about
all
that.
of these notes. And so one time, Zach Aaron Sebia, he was the Slender Man, and he taped one of the notes to the back of him, which we did not say was not allowed,
That's smart.
but I got it, you know. We were intense. There were foxes at night there, so.
And when you're a group of screaming children, the foxes know that's definitely time to go hunting.
Yeah.
And not to run away or anything. Everybody get cozy. This one's called Squidward's Suicide. Estimated reading time 7 minutes.
Okay.
I'll try to be as quick as I can.
I have never heard this one before.
Can I be so for real?
Mm-hmm.
Neither have I.
Okay.
This is written by an intern from Nickelodeon Animation Studios.
Oh.
Posted on September 1st, 2010. But they're talking about an internship from 2005. They say, now, since I work directly with the editors and animators, I got to view the new episodes days before they aired. I'll get right to it without giving too many unnecessary details. They had very recently made the SpongeBob movie, and the entire staff was somewhat sapped of creativity, so it took them longer to start up the season. But the delay lasted longer for more upsetting reasons. There was a problem with the Series 4 premiere that set everyone and everything back for several months. Me and their 2 other interns were in the editing room along with the lead animators and sound editors for the final cut. We received the copy that was supposed to be, quote, fear of a Krabby Patty, and gathered around the screen to watch. Now, given that it isn't final yet, animators often put up a mock title card, sort of an inside joke for us, with phony, oftentimes lewd titles such as How Sex Doesn't Work. So when we saw the title card, Squidward's Suicide, we didn't think it any more than a morbid joke. The happy-go-lucky music plays as is normal. The story began with Squidward practicing his clarinet, hitting a few sour notes like normal. We hear SpongeBob laughing outside, and Squidward stops, yelling at him to keep it down as he has a concert that night and needs to practice. SpongeBob says okay and goes to see Sandy with Patrick. The bubble splash screen comes up and we see the ending of Squidward's concert. This is when things began to seem off. While playing, a few frames repeat themselves, but the sound doesn't. At this point, the sound is synced up with animation, so yes, that's not common. But whenever he stops playing, the sound finishes as if the skip never happened. There's a slight murmuring in the crowd before they begin to boo him. Not normal cartoon booing that is common in the show. You could very clearly hear malice in it. Squidward's in full frame and looks visibly afraid. The shot goes to the crowd with SpongeBob in center frame, and he too is booing, very much unlike him. Not classic
That is
SpongeBob
so
behavior,
not SpongeBob.
right? Right? That isn't the oddest thing, though. What is odd is that everyone had hyper-realistic eyes, very detailed. Clearly not shots of real people's eyes, but something a bit more real than CGI. The pupils were red. Some of us looked at each other, obviously confused, but since we weren't the writers, we didn't question its appeal to children yet. Classic. Right.
All right, sure.
The shot goes to Squidward sitting on the edge of his bed, looking very forlorn. Great word.
One of my faves.
The view out of his pothole window is a night sky, so it isn't very long after the concert. The unsettling part is at this point there is no sound. Literally no sound. Not even the feedback from the speakers in the room. It's as if the speakers were turned off, though their status showed them working perfectly. He just sat there, blinking in this silence for about 30 seconds. Then he started to sob softly. He put his hands, tentacles, over his eyes and cried quietly for a full minute more, all the while a sound in the background very slowly growing from nothing to barely audible. It sounded like a slight breeze through a forest. Can this
It was
person...
me farting.
Would it kill OP to throw in a comma where it's supposed to be? Because it's making my reading out loud portion of the project a little bit harder than it ought to be. The screen slowly begins to zoom in on his face. By slow, I mean it's only noticeable if you look at shots 10 seconds apart, side by side.
How long is this sequence?
Must be long.
These episodes are only like 20 minutes.
They're supposed to be. His sobbing gets louder, more full of hurt and anger. The screen then twitches a bit, as if it twists in on itself for a split second, then back to normal. The wind through the trees sound gets slowly louder and more severe, as if a storm is brewing somewhere. Pause. Funny, because there are no trees down there in Bikini Bottom.
Yeah.
End pause.
Don't I know it?
The eerie part, this
whole thing is eerie.
What? Okay, here's where the real eerie part comes in, I guess. The eerie part is this sound, and Squidward sobbing sounded real, as if the sound wasn't coming from the speakers, but as if the speakers were holes, the sound was coming through from the other side. Isn't that what fucking speakers are? As good a sound as the studio likes to have, they don't purchase the equipment to be that good to produce sound of that quality. Plus, this person is writing about their internship in 2005. 20 years ago, speakers were shit, and everyone knows it. I'm not sure if that's true, but
everyone knows it, though.
Everyone has to know it.
Everyone completely and utterly knows it.
If you were there in 2005 as an intern in Nickelodeon Animation Studios, you'd know the speakers were shit. Below the sound of the wind and sobbing.
Can I get a breve? No, please.
Below the sound of the wind and sobbing, very faint, something sounded like laughing. It came at odd intervals and never lasted more than a second, so you had a hard time pinning it. We watched this show twice, so pardon me if things sounded too specific, but I've had time to think about them. Okay, what a dumb add-on. I didn't need to know that, OP. I don't give a fuck. Anyway, he says, after 30 seconds of this, the screen blurred and twitched, and violently something flashed over the screen as if a single frame was replaced. The lead animation editor paused and rewound frame by frame. What he saw was horrible. It was a still photo of a dead child. He couldn't have been more than 6. The face was mangled and bloodied, one eye dangling over his upturned face, popped. He was naked down to his underwear, his stomach crudely cut open, and his entrails laying beside him. He was laying on some pavement that was probably a road. What the fuck?
This has nothing to do with SpongeBob.
Yeah, or Squidward. There was a shadow of the photographer. There was no crime tape, no evidence, tags, or markers, and the angle was completely off for a shot designed to be evidence.
This is giving dark web.
Yeah. It would seem the photographer was the person reasonable for the child's death. We were, of course, mortified, but pressed on, hoping that it was just a sick joke. A child.
Dead. Mutilated.
With the photo itself being like very eerie. In addition,
eerie, it's literally a child, and his entrails all over the ground.
I say eerie because of, despite that, also the angle and why are we taking a photo like that?
Yeah.
It wasn't for evidence. It wasn't for legal purposes. It was for personal purposes probably. And then just goes back to Squidward still sobbing.
Yeah.
Louder than before, half body and frame. There was now what appeared to be blood running down his face from his eyes. The blood was also done in a hyper-realistic style, looking as if you touched it, you'd get blood on your fingers. The wind sounded now as if it were that of a gale blowing through the forest. There were even snapping sounds of branches. The laughing, a deep baritone lasting at longer intervals and coming more frequently. After about 20 seconds, the screen again twisted and showed a single frame photo. The editor was reluctant to go back. We all were. This time, the photo was that of what appeared to be a little girl, no older than the first child. She was laying on her stomach, her barrettes in a pool of blood next to her. Her left eye was too popped out and popped. Two as in also popped out and popped. Naked except for her underpants, her entrails were piled up on top of her above another crude cut along her back. Again, the body was on the street and the photographer's shadow was visible, very similar in size and shape to the first. I had to choke back vomit, and one intern, only female in the room, ran out. The show resumed.
Who the fuck is this animator?
Right. About 5 seconds after this photo played, Squidward went silent, as did all sound, like it was when this scene started. He put his tentacles down, and his eyes were now done in hyper-realism style, like the others were in the beginning of the episode. They were bleeding, bloodshot, and pulsating. He just stared at the screen, as if watching the viewer. After about 10 seconds, he started sobbing, this time not covering his eyes. The sound was piercing and loud, and most fear-inducing of all, his sobbing was mixed with screaming. Tears and blood were dripping down his face at a heavy rate, The wind came back, so did the deep voice laughing, and the still photo lasted this time for a good 5 frames. This time the photo was of a boy about the same age. His entrails were being piled up out from his stomach, wound by a large hand. The right eye popped up and dangling, blood trickling down it. I vomited on the floor. The animating and sound editors gasping at the screen. The 5 frames were not as if they were 5 different photos. They played out as if they were frames from a video.
Come on. You get it out. Get it out.
We saw the hand slowly lift out the guts. We saw the kid's eyes focus on it, and we even saw 2 frames of the kid beginning to blink.
Ugh. Ugh.
So this kid was alive.
Yeah.
The sound editor told them to stop. They had to call the creator, Mr. Hillenberg, in, and he was confused as to why he was called down there, so the editor just continued the episode. Once a few frames were shown, all screaming, all sound stopped, Squidward staring at the viewer, full frame of the face, 3 seconds. The shot quickly panned out, and a deep voice said, "Do it." And we see in Squidward's hands a shotgun.
I was gonna say, would he fucking shoot himself?
He immediately puts the gun in his mouth and pulls the trigger. Realistic blood and brain matter splatters the wall behind him and his bed, and he flies back with force. The last 5 seconds of this episode show his body on the bed, on his side, one eye dangling, just his guts everywhere.
Yeah.
And then the episode ends. Mr. Hillenberg is obviously angry. He demanded to know what the heck is going on. Most people in the room left, so it was just a handful of us to watch it again. And viewing this episode twice only served to imprint the entirety of it in my mind and caused me horrible nightmares. The only theory we could think of was the file was edited by someone in the chain from drawing studio to here. The CTO was called in to analyze when it happened. The analysis of the file did not show it was edited over by new material. However, the timestamp of it was a mere 24 seconds before we began viewing it. All equipment involved was examined for foreign software and hardware as well as glitches, as if the timestamp may have glitched and shown the wrong time, but everything checked out fine. We don't know what happened, and to this day, nobody does. There was an investigation due to the nature of the photos, but nothing came of it. No child scene was identified, and no clues were gathered from the data involved, nor physical clues in the photos. I never believed in unexplainable phenomena before, but now that I have something happen and I can't prove anything about it beyond anecdotal evidence, I think twice about things.
So, unexplainable phenomena. But now that I've experienced something that cannot be explained, cap. I call cap.
Do you think it was Squidward seeing these things in his mind and then he just couldn't take it anymore and then had to off himself?
If this story is true, it was probably some fucking hacker.
Yeah.
Made this fucked up episode that had no rhyme or reason. The murderer, say, of these children made this. Because, unless you're going on the fucking dark web and buying this
several
shit.
talents.
Yes, yeah. The man who has it all.
The man who's got it all.
Mr. Hollywood.
Mr. Hollywood.
Mr. Hollywood sent in a new SpongeBob episode. Thank you for that story. I'm really hoping we get to see the final episode soon out on
No
Nickelodeon.
one does.
All right, Squidward.
I didn't like that.
Yeah.
I thought that would be funnier.
What? Why? None of these are funny.
I love SpongeBob. It's supposed to be funny.
Okay, now it's time for my second creepypasta because it's kind of silly and it's gonna
lighten the mood.
Lighten the mood, hopefully.
Okay, sorry I brought it down so hard.
No, I loved that. No.
It's just spooky
Halloween,
season.
yeah.
Halloween.
This one's called Licking.
Ew.
Oh. Uh-oh. Estimated reading time, 2 minutes. My great-grandmother lived alone in the mountains at her cabin. Her husband was dead, so she was there all alone. She only had one companion, and that was her loving dog. They both adored each other, and the dog was great comfort to her. Every night when she went to bed, the dog would lick her hand to let her know that she was there to protect her.
Aw.
I found this creepypasta on a Reddit that said, these are the worst creepypastas you could ever read. Okay?
Amazing.
One night she had gone to bed and the dog licked her hand.
I think I've heard this one.
Like he had done routinely every night since her husband died.
Mm-hmm.
But this night was different. She had woken up in the middle of the night because she heard her dog whimpering. She wanted to comfort him and let her know that she was there for him, so she stuck her hand out by the bed, and she felt the dog gently lick her hand, like always. She figured he was just cold, so she went back to sleep. The dog's whimpering had woken her a second time in the night, so she stuck her hand out. The dog licked it, and she went back to sleep. Mm-hmm. This happened a third time, and she stuck her hand out, and the dog stopped whimpering and came and licked her hand. She stayed awake for a few moments after, and she went back to sleep again.
As she does.
In the morning, she woke up and stuck her hand out by the bed, but nothing licked her hand. She thought that the dog She thought that the dog had already awakened and was just in the front room. She rolled over and got out of bed and heard a drip. Drip, drip, drip.
Question.
Yeah.
Is she blind?
No.
Okay, she's just a woman.
She's just a woman. She thought the sound was coming from the kitchen, so she walked over and turned the handles on the sink faucet. She thought the sound was coming from the kitchen, so she walked over and turned the handles on the sink faucet, but it wasn't the source of the noise. After frustratingly checking the sink and its pipes, she gave up and continued into her bathroom to take a shower. As she got closer to the bathroom door, it was evident that the sound was coming from within.
Within what?
The bathroom. She opened the door, looked above the bathroom, and gasped in utter horror. There, hanging from the light by his collar, was her loving companion. His blood was dripping into the bathtub. She screamed and began to cry, wiping her eyes and sobbing. She turned and looked in the mirror. In the mirror, she saw the dog's reflection, and written on the mirror in the dog's blood, with drips and streaks hanging down from each letter, were the words, "Humans can lick too." Alrighty then.
I think I have heard this one.
Yeah.
Yeah. Specifically about in the corner or the light, whatever. I remember reading that at Brooke Gavin's house and then being afraid to go to her bathroom in the middle of the night and having to check behind her shower.
Yeah.
And not wanting to look in the mirror whenever I would use her bathroom.
I would get scared at sleepovers going into the bathroom because of Bloody Mary.
That too.
That shit scared the living bejeebs out of me.
Tell me about it.
Let me tell you.
Tell me.
I'll tell you all about it.
Cozy.
Yeah.
A little cozy nap.
I just want to do nothing ever.
I want to do
watch
like a little
some spooky
hot
movies.
cider.
Yeah.
Time to read two-sentence horror stories.
I wasn't scared of long hallways. That was until I met the hallway man.
Okay. Did you say hi?
Hey, only 2 sentences. Don't open my monkey closet, I said to the guy. He did and got eaten to death and died and...
For those of you listening, that's exactly how it is written.
That is exactly how it is written. Finally, I'm all alone, I said to myself as I sat in my bedroom at midnight.
Try again.
I am going to read it again because I want it to be clear. Finally, I'm all alone, I said to myself as I sat in my bedroom at midnight. So stupid. No, you're not, said Knife Guy.
Oh my god.
There's a Reddit thread that is 2-sentence 2 horror that I'm getting these from. One of them has a photo, and I'll put it on the screen. One of them has a photo of a dog in a pillow fort.
Pillow fort?
And these are the 2 sentences that come along with it. Made him a pillow fort because he's scared of lightning. In 1998, I ran over a woman while drunk driving and never went to prison. So...
Oh my god.
So anywho...
I've got a really popular one. I was relieved that it was just a babby. That's when I took a closer look and realized, fat babby.
Oh, no.
That's it. Big gulp and down in one, I said, helping my disabled stepdaughter swallow her leukemia pill.
Not the first sentence.
Yep. The second sentence goes, noticing her pill box was nearly empty, I made a mental note to buy more Tic Tacs.
Oh, my God.
That was so
Perfect.
stupid. Oh, stupid dumb.
Laying in bed, I turned around to see my dad's big blue eyes peeking through the door. It's time to wake up, sweetie. He's been saying that exact sentence for the past 30 minutes. And one more thing, my dad's eyes are brown. And one last thing. These must be made by AI. After working, I like the ones that have to explain themselves, really, really hardcore, because they're supposed to be so simple. After working a hard day, I came home to see my girlfriend cradling our child. I didn't know which was more frightening, seeing my dead girlfriend and stillborn child, or knowing that someone broke in my apartment to place them there.
What the fuck? We went to see Nickelback. It was good.
Oh, no way. No, here's the thing.
I would have fun. I would have fun.
Nickelback hate is forced. It's forced.
Okay. Let's get you back to bed, Grandma. I lay paralyzed but awake. The embalmer in the room doesn't know.
I was getting thirsty, so I had a sip of soda. It was too late when I realized it was scary soda. This is ultimate, millennial core, some of these.
This one's really scary because it could actually be true. I shit my pants at work. I have a meeting in 5 minutes.
Yeah. No, horrifying.
This one has a heroic ending, in my opinion. I heard the door to my room open. Under the blankets, I know I'm invisible to them.
That's facts. That's facts. Did I ever tell you about how one of my biggest fears was getting buried alive when I was younger? And in order to not get buried alive, I would have to sleep fully under the covers, because if people came in with a coffin, they wouldn't see me.
Right.
And they wouldn't be able to put me in the coffin because I was under my covers. And I would imagine them coming in with the coffin in order to put me in the coffin and then take me away.
Just scoop you out of bed and be like, there she is.
Yeah.
Get her.
Yeah. 2-sentence horror. I can hear 1 year into the future. Today, the noise stopped.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Growing up with cats and dogs, I got used to the sounds of scratching at my door while I slept. Now that I live alone, it is much more unsettling. My sister says that Mommy killed her. Mommy says that I don't have a sister. Scrum-dilly yum yum, a purr. Don't be scared of the monsters. Just look for them. Look to your left, to your right, under your bed, behind your dresser, in your closet, but never look up. She hates being seen.
Ooh. It almost feels like Christmas, except I've got no eggnog. Thankfully, I can just milk some more from my creature. The family enjoys their milk at the table. Little do they know it was harvested from my creature. I ran out of ketchup, so I went down to the basement. The creature whimpered. He knows it's time for another milking session. What are these creature ones?
Laying in bed, I saw my wife on the baby monitor holding our newborn son in the nursery downstairs. Then my wife walked out of the master bathroom and asked, "What's wrong?" when she saw the horrified look on my face.
My girlfriend wiped the tears from my eyes with a tissue. Little did she know the tears came from the creature I have in my basement.
Can you send me a screenshot of all of these? I want to draw the creature.
All right, I'm done. Thank you guys so much for watching. Like, comment, subscribe. Tweet us at #O2L, what were the boys' names?
The Iconic Boys.
#The Iconic Boys. Two sentence horror stories.
Childhood Ruined.
Dog eating woof rar. Dog. Get out of the kitchen.
Eerie. Get out of the kitchen. If you can't
Get
take
him.
the dog, get out of the kitchen of the litter box.
In the backyard, pick up after your butt.
In the doghouse if you can't take the heat in the kitchen.
Leave a comment what you think we should be dress up for as Halloween for us to be together as best friends on this last episode on Halloween next week.
October.
For October. Halloween.
Race cars!
Race cars.